Hey guys, William Murfitt here, and today we are finishing off the rear end of this car. So in the last few videos we've done the strip down of the rear suspension and the rebuilding of the rear suspension, and I know there was a few camera glitches in the last video, but I will get back to that hopefully at a later date. So I've now done the other side, and I haven't really filmed a lot of that because, to be honest, it's very similar to this side. The only thing different is removing the fuel tank. Now to remove the fuel tank, you've got one strap that goes across, you take the fuel cap off, you wiggle it free, you undo the top bolt, and then when you finish, you wiggle it back in. The car's now settled down onto its wheels, and I've just got to tweak the suspension slightly. I can fit 3 fingers in this side, and I can fit just over 3 fingers the other side. So I want to adjust it slightly to make both sides sit very level. But first of all, I'm going to tidy up in here because it's an absolute mess. Once that's done, I want to turn the car around and investigate the knocking on the front end of the car. So let's get on. Okay, so we tied it up and the wheel is now back off the car. So let's take a quick look and see what we need to do to adjust the suspension on this car. It's only going to be a minor little tweak, but will make a massive difference to the overall stance of the car. Let's have a look. Okay, so as you can see in here, this is the cleaned setup. This is the replaced. I've done the bearings back here. I've cleaned up the shock absorber. I fitted the new cone, the high-low adjuster, and a new knuckle joint down the back. I kept the existing flexi hose because, to be honest, there was no need to replace it. It was in good condition. I have replaced the lock-in nut for the flexi hose because the old one was slightly corroded, but it's all looking pretty good. It's all greased up and it's all ready to go. So just now to adjust the suspension down to get the ride height to about 3 fingers between the top of the wheel and the arch. Now I've jacked it up and I'm not particularly keen on adjusting this anymore, only because when I come to move this, and give it this hand, I can actually turn the cone by hand. Now with the load on the car, that's not really going to move. However, with it being a new cone, it will compress over time and that will become loose. So, I'll get my spanner in there, just show you, just with the tiniest bit of movement on there, I can rotate that cone, which I don't particularly want. So what I'm going to do is, it's seated nicely on the back, I'm just going to de-adjust it and I'm going to wind it up ever so slightly to make it slightly higher, so then when it settles down, it will settle down much better, much more even. So I use 2 spanners. Got a 25mm for the locking nut, and I've got a 25mm for the adjuster nut and a 26mm for the locking nut. So just adjust that up so that locking nut is now free. So the grease nipple is now pointing down towards the ground, and it means that I can get access through here to get to this grease nipple on this high-low, which you can just hide in behind the shock absorber. So I'm pretty happy with how the height looks now. Let's lock that off, and then what we'll do is we'll go to the other side of the car and we'll just double check the height on that. Okay, so that is now the suspension adjusted. Let's put the wheel back on and then test the height and see how we're getting on. Okay, so I can get 4 fingers in there now. Let's go to the other side and adjust that as well, because I'd rather have more clearance than not enough. Okay, so we've got 4 fingers here, 4 fingers the other side. Let's put the wheel nuts on, torque them up, and then we are done. Okay, so as you can see, we are back on all 4 wheels. The suspension ride height is absolutely perfect both sides. I've used a real primitive method of using how many fingers I can get in there. I've also off camera measured that. Now off camera I've done a few jobs. So because I disconnected the brake hose, I bled all 4 brakes out. Now I've topped up the reservoir and I've started the furthest brake away. So the reservoir is at your driver's front. So I've started passenger rear, driver's rear, passenger front, driver's front, so I've bled all those out. Next I have greased all the bearings. So you've got on the high-lows, they've got a little nipple on, I've greased them. The rear arms, they've both been greased. The brakes have been adjusted up, and the last job I needed to do was to just re-tighten up that handbrake cable to make sure the handbrake movement inside the driver's or inside the cabin is spot on. I'm really happy with how this job has gone. And as I've said multiple times before, this has been the best example of a Mini I've worked on because there haven't been any breaks, there haven't been any sort of issues. Next job I'm going to look at, which is going to be in the next video, is going to be that knocking on the front I mentioned during the road test. So I'm going to get the car out, I'm going to spin it round, I'm going to bring it back in so I can have access to this side here where the lights are and the tools and stuff are to be able to check out what that is. So I suppose we'll get the car out, we'll bring it back in, and then we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed it, as always, please click the thumbs up button, comment below, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future content. Thank you for watching again, and I'll see you next time. Bye!